Over the last week or so, there's been a lot of fight announcements for the UFC. Amazing fights. Great job, UFC. I'm going to start looking at some of them recently. Starting with Darren Stewart versus Marvin Vettori. And I'm going to work my way forward to some more recent ones, give you my opinions. We haven't done this in a little while, so I thought you guys would enjoy it. Darren Stewart versus Marvin Vettori at UFC London. First got announced. One of many to be announced recently. I love this fight. I'm invested in both guys, which means I'm not going to cheer too much when the fight is over because I kind of want both of them to win and I don't want either of them to lose. These are the two contenders at middleweight that we're really looking at right now. You've got Darren Stewart, won 4 out of his last 5 fights. His one fight that he lost was a split decision to Edmund Shabazian, who just smoked Brad Tavares in the first round. So that tells you all you need to know about Darren Stewart, and he shares a similar trait in that way. He has a split decision loss to a very good guy in the division, but someone who has a split decision loss to another good guy in the division, the champion, Israel Adesanya, is Marvin Vettori, the guy he's facing. Very similar situations, these guys. Very similar. I like Marvin Vettori. I think he might be able to put a pace on Darren Stewart on the feet and then mix in some grappling. I don't see Darren Stewart being able to mix in some grappling on Marvin Vettori. He's got sick takedown defense. But we'll see how things go. That's an amazing fight on the main card of UFC London. Hopefully we get Till announced versus Hermansson, but that's an amazing fight to start things off. Both of these guys belong on the main card. And both of these guys belong on probably the rankings at number 15 instead of Anderson Silva if they win this fight, honestly. Especially Marvin Vettori. Moving on. Pedro Munoz versus... It's not Pedro Munoz. Who is that? Oh yeah, shit, it's Marlon... I don't know why I just changed Marlon Vera's face into Pedro Munoz in front of my eyes. But I swear to God, I just hallucinated Pedro Munoz's face. What's going on? Marlon Vera versus Jimmy Rivera got announced as well. Amazing fight. I like this one. I've been cheering on Marlon Vera since the very beginning. A lot of you guys know I did a prospect spotlight on him ages ago, before he even fought Andre Ewell, before he fought the guy he fought before that as well, Nohelin Hernandez. I like Marlon Vera. I think he's going to go far, and I think he's going to beat Jimmy Rivera. I think we're seeing a downslope of Rivera's career. I think there's a certain amount of losses in a row where you just got to kind of say, right, well, the blueprint's been written, you know? Like when Woodley beat Maia, Colby beat Maia, Usman beat Maia, all the same style, back to back. I feel like Marlon Vera's got what it takes to beat Jimmy Rivera. Jimmy Rivera's a big, strong guy. Marlon Vera's young, improving every single fight. I feel like Jimmy Rivera kind of peaked against Faber and then dropped down a little bit. He's taken some KO losses as well, especially against Marlon Moraes as well. Another Marlon. Maybe it's something that we're going to have to take into consideration here. Marlon. Both guys could potentially beat Jimmy Rivera. I'm looking forward to this one. I really am, and I think the winner of this fight should be rewarded somewhat. Let's say if the Sunsao beats Garbrandt. Maybe the winner of this one can get a Sunsao. That sounds about good to me. Marlon Vera, Jimmy Rivera, great fight. I believe that's on the main card of... or the prelims. I hope it's headlining the prelims, because Marlon Vera deserves that shit. UFC 247. Amazing stuff. And we move on again. If I scroll past some of these fight news, we got Megan Anderson. I'm not really too interested here. She's on UFC Norfolk, which is main evented by another fight that got announced. I'm going to keep these brief, to be honest with you, because I'm not too interested in some of these. I don't care. They've brought in some random good-looking girl that can make 145 pounds, that probably weighs 145 pounds, and they're going to let Megan Anderson beat the shit out of her. That's probably what's going to happen, but, you know, that's fine. Cool. Moving on. Bevon Lewis versus... Daquan Townsend at UFC Raleigh. Daquan Townsend taking it on short notice. This is a great contender fight at middleweight as well. I like this one. I really do. I'm interested. You've got Bevon Lewis, I think, was winning the fight against Uriah Hall until the 3rd round, and then he lost. Looking to bounce back here against Daquan Townsend. I'm going to go with Bevon Lewis here. And it's a great fight. A really good fight. Moving on, Felicia Spencer versus some random girl at featherweight. Same story with the Megan Anderson fight. No one cares. Then you've got Hannah Cyphers versus Brianna Van Buren. Or Angela Hill versus Hannah Cyphers. On short notice. Good fight. I don't really care too much. Rachel Ostovich. Nice ass. Facing Shayna Dobson. Moving on. No one cares. Paul Craig versus Ryan Spann. Amazing fight as well. Really amazing fight. I'm looking forward to this one. This is a great fight for the main card of UFC. I mean, obviously you've got Paul Craig. I rewatched the fight. I actually think Paul Craig probably won. Shogun didn't really do much on top. And yeah. Paul Craig versus Ryan Spann. Two guys arguably coming off a win. I could see this one going very well. I just have to bet on Ryan Spann's massive power compared to Paul Craig's chin, which I know can be rattled and KO'd with. Ryan Span's a dangerous fight, but the winner of this one definitely deserves to call out someone in the rankings or get a fight against a ranked opponent. Listen to all these fucking fights, man. This is an amazing time to be a UFC fan. Merab Dvalishvili, that's the one. Merab Dvalishvili versus Casey Kenny at UFC Rio Rancho. Another amazing fight on Rio Rancho. Rio Rancho's a stacked card right now. Merab trains with Matt Serra and Ray Longo and Weidman and all those guys. Casey Kenny, an absolute beast as well, coming off a win over Manny Bermudez, I believe. Great performance from Casey Kenny. Casey Kenny's ranked, so this is a great fight. It'll probably be on the main card because Casey Kenny's ranked, and if not, then maybe it can headline the prelims or something like that. Merab Dvalishvili, dangerous guy. Remember, he had the controversial loss to Ricky Simone. But other than that, he's been dominating guys, just coming off a win over Brad Katona. I love this guy. Merab is an amazing guy. And I think he may actually win that fight. Dodson versus Wood. I know you guys wanted me to talk about this shit. This is the old guy versus the new. I can't wait for this shit, man. Wood is a dangerous, dangerous man. But so is Dodson. People don't understand. If you go back and rewatch the Piotr Yan versus John Dodson fight. Piotr Yan won. It was a split decision, I believe. Yan won. But, I mean, Dodson had moments in that fight where you were like, okay, he's still got something going on here. I remember he dropped Piotr Yan at one point really hard. Yan got back up and went straight back to work. But Dodson has got that crack. Still in his punches. Do I think he's going to beat a guy like Nathaniel Wood? There's some questions you got to ask here. Nathaniel Wood coming off an injury recently. I think it was a shoulder injury coming back to the UFC. Dodson is a very strong man that can for sure wrestle. I am going to go with Nathaniel Wood here. I think he's the truth. I think he's taken the right amount of time off. He hasn't fought since last year, March. And now he's going to be fighting in February. UFC London was the last time he fought. I'm looking forward to his return. I really am. I think he's going to improve dramatically. He's a young guy. I think he's going to beat John Dodson. And the winner of this one can maybe take on the winner of Jimmy Rivera versus Marlon Rivera. We'll see what goes on. We'll see. Bantamweight's getting interesting. Mickey Gall versus Cowboy Oliveira. Amazing fight. Amazing fight. Makes sense, even though Oliveira's coming off a loss. Good fight. We'll see if Mickey Gall's got what it takes. This is another step up for him. Every time he's had a step up, he loses. Oliveira's dangerous. But will Mickey Gall have the patience? Because Oliveira can get wild and it backfires. Does Mickey Gall have the patience to stick to a game plan, not get caught up in the fury and the fire with Cowboy Oliveira? Oliveira's taken a lot of damage in his recent fights. Mickey Gall's been in training camp for a long time for Carlos Condit. Bounces right into this one. Oliveira's dangerous. I think he might win, but that's a great fight, and I'd like Mickey Gall to win because he knows what to do on the microphone, you know? He has promise. If he wins fights, he's going to be a star. Neil Magny versus Li Jingliang. Amazing fight as well. I'm going to speed this one up, boys. Okay. Neil Magny, Li Jingliang. Great fight, to be honest with you. I like this one. Added to UFC 248. Probably going to be on the prelims. I like this fight. Neil Magny's still ranked. Coming off some drug issues. Li Jingliang, more dangerous than ever. I did not think he was going to beat Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos. I think he's going to beat Neil Magny. Magny's coming off a real long layoff after a KO from Santiago Ponzinibbio. And Ponzinibbio, another guy who would know a lot about long layoffs, to be honest with you. And Neil Magny, probably a dangerous fight to come back against a guy like Li Jingliang. Really coming into his own at welterweight. Dangerous guy. Dangerous guy. I think I'm going to go with Li Jingliang. I really am. Neil Magny's dangerous, though. Great fight at welterweight. Amazing fight at welterweight. Moving on. I don't care about that one. That doesn't deserve any sort of justice whatsoever, so I won't read it out. Brendan Allen versus Tom Breeze. Breeze, 3-1 from the UK. Pay attention. Lost to Dan Kelly, but he got injured, and he's been off with injuries for a very long time. Brendan Allen, more in the game. Tom Breeze, I believe, is 6'3" at middleweight. He is a big boy. I am going to go with Brendan Allen. I'm going to go against my countryman. I don't like the layoff. I don't like the fact that he lost to Dan Kelly. In my opinion, Dan Kelly should be a free fight for one of these young up-and-comers. Loses to him. Or he lost to someone. He might have beaten Daniel Kelly. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. But Brendan Allen, I feel like he's going to get this one done. More activity. Beat a guy in Kevin Holland who is 3-1 himself. He belongs here. I'm rooting for Tom Breeze, but I think Brendan Allen gets it done. Benavidez versus Figueiredo. I've already talked about this. But I've already talked about the Cejudo situation. Let's just talk about this for a little bit. Great fight. Great flyweight bout. It's good to have more belts in order. I don't mind a flyweight title fight on at the headliner of a main card of a fight night, to be honest with you. I like it. It's nice to have a few more cards and a few more belts going around. And I think that's a great fight, and probably Benavidez will win. But Figueiredo is dangerous. So we have to look out for that. But I feel like Benavidez is going to use some wrestling and see if he can get an advantage there. We've talked about Whittaker versus Cannonier. Check that out on my channel. There's a ton of fucking fights. I did not realise how much I've missed. Holy shit. Jim Miller versus Scott Holtzman at Rio Rancho. Another one at Rio Rancho. Amazing, man. Amazing time from the UFC. And there's another one I'm going to talk about next. But Jim Miller, Scott Holtzman. Good times. Good times. The winner of this one can take on a guy in the rankings, maybe. Jim Miller's going to have two in a row, I believe. One over... his name's gone. Clay Guida. And now he's going to look for another one against Scott Holtzman. Great fight. Great fight. Jim Miller's still doing the damn thing. Jesus. Yancy Medeiros, Lando Venata, Rio Rancho. Amazing. Both guys on the way out. Loser goes home, I feel. If Lando Venata loses again, I think that's 3 in a row if he loses this one. Same with Yancy Medeiros. Dangerous fight. I think Yancy might do it, but Lando's dangerous. Loser goes home though, man. Seriously, you can't be having that many losses in a row. And then to finish off, Beneil Dariush versus Drakkar Klose. Drakkar Klose, amazing fight at UFC 248. Drakkar Klose on a big streak right now at lightweight. Beneil Dariush recently bounced back with a win over Drew Dober. And then again, more recently, over another person that exists on planet Earth, I believe. I'm not sure who he is. But I'm going with Drakkar Klose here. I think he's a beast. Great chin. Beat a bunch of good opponents as well. Including Lando Venata, I think. They may have gone to a draw, but I think they went to a draw, but he had a great fight. Great chin on him, man. Real tough guy, good counter wrestling. I'm going with Drakkar Klose. I think this guy's a truth at lightweight. Maybe whoever wins this one can take on... If it's Drakkar Klose, give them to Alexander Hernandez. If it's Beneil Dariush, we don't need to see that shit again. Alexander Hernandez KO'd him stiff. But that's going to be a great fight. Amazing stuff. I've gone through some fights. I'll see you later. Should be a good time. Like and subscribe. Click that button there. Goodbye. Looking forward to 2020, boys. Who's with me? It's looking amazing. Hopefully they don't fall out. Touch wood.